What's going on, everyone? Just a quick video. I want to share two mods that I think everybody should be using in Age of Empires 3, Supremacy or Treaty, but especially helpful for newer players. So I just want to show. So there's two mods that I find that are really useful. One is the UI mod that I use, the Dori UI mod. It was created by Dori, who is a dev who also does some of the AoE 3 Home City web page and like statistics and all that. So this was created by one of the devs that works on the game, and it makes the menus transparent, but also highlights it so that the villagers are. It highlights red here and gets your attention a lot better whenever you have idle villagers. The other is a mod that so the first one, Dori mod, is a cosmetic mod. This one is actual functional, helps you learn the game better. So if we look here at the units, I have one unit from each military building here. And you can see the range stats, or the stats here of this unit, what it does, and then a description. And the descriptions, when you hover over the icon, are kind of vague. So heavy cavalry armed with lance killing infantry. So that implies it's good with infantry, but doesn't tell you, what it's weak against. You can look and see what tags it has, each unit has, to figure out what its vulnerabilities are, but if you're new, that's a lot to learn. So there's a mod that really helps with this. So if you go to the main menu, go to Tools, go to Mods, and click Browse Mods, there's two mods that we're going to install here. So the first one is the UI one that I was talking about. So if you just come here, type Dori, and hit Enter, and there's one here called Dori UI. So we're going to subscribe to that. And then the other one is called Better Descriptions. Better Descriptions mod. We're going to install that. So then if we go here, after they're installed, you'll see them here in your list. And if you have other mods, you can change the priority. I always want the UI to be transparent, that to be first, and then the Better Descriptions mod. So once you install that, go back to that same game we were just in. So now we have our units here again. Preparado. But when we hover over them, you can see here that it is literally an updated description for everything that is in the game. So almost everything, I shouldn't say everything, but it really, really helps you. So now, for example, when I hover over this dragoon image, it's strong versus heavy cavalry and artillery, but it's weak versus infantry. And then it still gives you the type underneath, but it also color codes it, and then you can see here in orange it's light cavalry. So it's weak versus infantry, so that means it's weak versus melee. It's weak versus ranged infantry. Preparado. We'll go here and look at the Lancer. So it kind of gives you a description here. Heavy cavalry, hussar comparison, range resistance, bonus damage against infantry, so it's more effective than a hussar. And then it tells you it's weak versus light cavalry, so a dragoon or a cavalry archer. Same thing with a hussar. Strong versus light infantry and artillery, weak versus heavy infantry and light cavalry. Rodolero. Strong versus cavalry, weak versus light infantry and artillery. Preparado. Musketeer. Weak versus light infantry, artillery, strong versus cavalry. So it really gives you a breakdown. I have to unlimber these to see them. Same thing with artillery. It gives you a detailed description. It also gives you a detailed description of cards. So if you go to build a deck, go back to the home screen to do that. actually we need to restart the game, so I'm just going to pause the video here for a second for that to take effect. Okay, so we've restarted the game here. Just exit and then restart it after you install any mods. A good practice. So this is only, it's not for every single card, but for a lot of them. But it tells you a lot more details about a lot of the cards. So you can see here, anything that's in color here, it kind of is enhancing that description of whatever that is. So it really, for a lot of the cards, can really help explain what a lot of these things do when some of the built-in descriptions aren't sufficient enough. So like here it's explaining 330 coin. I'll just look at another civ. Mexico has a lot of complex cards. Some of them may or may not be updated, but all the tags for almost all the enemy units or units that are in the game are in there, and it really just makes trying to figure out what counters what. So it's as simple as clicking on it, the enemy unit, hovering over it and seeing, okay, it's tagged as this, it's weak versus, hand cavalry or ranged cavalry or cannons or whatever. It really helps you learn the proper counters so that you're not just spamming the wrong kind of unit. So those are the two mods that I recommend everybody get. They're multiplayer safe, so they work for everybody. So, they're free to use. So definitely take advantage of it. So hope that's helpful. See you in the next one.